Hello there, Guyana. You've asked for it. It is finally here. The Wake Up Guyana Show with yours truly, Leonard Gildari. Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Make your voices be heard. Call us, text us. Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5 FM. The Wake Up Guyana Show.
Hello, what you doing there? Shh! Why you that peeping in we neighbor bedroom window, girl?
Shh! I trying to see is what brand of diapers they using. Coffee tell me a couple the other day and it work real good. It ain't leaking, it ain't brand of baby belly, it holds enough pee. He ain't get no rash after a long time. It just proper.
Y'all, it's sleepy sensitive diaper. And it has come in a purple pack.
How you know?
The diaper good for truth. I simply ask you.
Oh.
But wait, it's why we whispering. You realize they can't hear me from till over there?
Oh.
Sleepy, for mommies who look for the best.
Yes, good afternoon. Welcome once again to the Wake Up Guyana Show right here on Kaieteur Radio. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. So, whatever it is that you're doing, wherever you are today, I want to say to you that it is a beautiful day, and I hope that you're putting your head, you're squaring your shoulders, look right ahead. Make sure that you have that positive energy because it is a time for that. It is time for Guyana to rise talking about the potential of Guyana for years and decades now. It is about time that you put your shoulder to the wheel. Do not allow it. Do not allow anybody else to do that, because it's your job as well. You have to play the role or play a role in the development of this country as we go forward. We've been talking about that. We've been talking about building capacity. So this is the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio. I'm your host Leonard Gildari, and you are tuned in to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 in Esquimalt and Demerara. And if you're up in Berbice, it is 99.5. We also coming to you live on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. It is November the 19th, 2020. And as usual, we are going to be opening up the lines very shortly, 226-7453. Also, we'd like you to send those messages to 6222222. As usual, every single day we accommodate you because it is your show, it is your voice, it is your time to have your say. It's time for you to wake up yourself, wake up Guyana here on Kaieteur Radio. So as usual, we head straight into our Kaieteur newspaper today. It's Guyana's favorite newspaper. It is Guyana's largest selling daily. And on November the 19th, this is what your newspaper is saying to you right now. Sleepover turns deadly as 15-year-old shot in head. Friend 17 in custody. We're going to come back to this. This is a very, very sad story, a very tragic story. You know, teens in the prime of their lives rather, and something like this would have happened. It also raises serious questions as to, you know, the accessibility to weapons, to firearms, by youngsters, and this would have come not too long ago, a few weeks after the son of a politician took his father's weapon and ended his life. That's a story that's coming out. This one here is that a sleepover would have seen the two kids there, and somehow one of them got hold of his daddy's weapon. It's happened in Kitty, and they start playing with it. At the end of the day, after all would have been settled, the 15-year-old boy is dead. They are good friends. The mother apparently took the boy who accidentally shot his friend, and they fled, and now he's in custody. So two lives, or rather a lot of lives there, including mom, dad, and relatives and friends would have been left devastated over this tragedy at this time, and so deepest condolences to the family there. But it raises the very real questions about our care, our responsibilities when it comes to weapons that would have been legally issued by the government, or rather by the authorities, to persons. And if you have a personal firearm, there's a responsibility that comes with it. You take it and you put it up, you put it in a safe place. If you're walking with it, there's certain rules and regulations. So maybe it's about time that the police force comes out back and remind the persons about the responsibilities of having a weapon. And it also raises a question: who do you put the license for a weapon? In whose hands do you do it? As you would know by now, that over the last couple of months, over the last couple of years, there have been growing concerns over a backdoor approach of the police force, in which they put multiple weapons in the hands of security forces. The guns end up with people who might not necessarily pass the rigid checks and balances that would be for persons applying for a weapon, but rather these people would fall under the companies, those security companies, and the normal checks and balances that might not be as strict as if I, Gildari, apply for a weapon. And I could tell you about me applying for my weapon, the hurdles that I would have had to cross, and it took almost 2 years. It was not an easy time, and the things that happened to me, I'm going to tell that story one of these days. But as of now, this story here has many implications. It has many other branches which we could look at and examine, and it does not speak well. It leaves me in a very, very sorry state, because I had a chat with my kids, them too, bringing them to this story here, because sometimes kids are going to come to you and say, we want to go sleep over somewhere, and so you got to be very careful as to where you're sending your kids. And if you are a very responsible parent or parents, you should take the necessary precautions to ensure that wherever you send in your kids, that they are protected, that they're going to a safe environment, and that they're responsible folks that you're doing that. I think right about now, I don't think my family is willing to entertain any kind of applications by the kids to go sleep over anywhere. The daughter was told that in no uncertain terms. The little boy was told that also. Because you get paranoid as parents when things like this happen. So I understand to the family the tragedy of this entire affair, and we will continue to report it from the Kaieteur newspaper as it develops. But it's a very, very very tragic thing for those families and friends. And to the headlines here in Kaieteur News now, Guyana agreed to lose billions in pre-contract and interest costs, while Suriname says not here. So, in essence, the story is that as part of our agreement, in which we gave up in 2016, which the government signed, the government of that day signed, the coalition government, is that ExxonMobil coming in, they said they would borrow money and so on and so forth. And when they borrow this money, there is interest, or there are going to be interest costs that you would have to pay. You borrow money, you pay interest. We did not try to find out about what these interest costs are. We did not try to find out if there's a cap on it. And so in Suriname, they would have looked at it and says, not here, don't come here and ask us for you to get those money back. As a company that is investing, you can't get it back. That's your responsibility, not ours here. Now, Why should we be interested? Because when you look at the overall cost that these oil companies would put to us, it amongst the billions of dollars. It literally billions of dollars. So you got to be very careful in when every loophole that Exxon would have found, they were able to capitalize on it. Now somebody would say, well, it's a done deal and so on. No, we can't sit down on it. While it is a done deal, it is a government that signed on to it, but it is a government at the end of the day. Had the people of Guyana known that what they were getting themselves into, it would have been a different take. So let's look at it as that. It's not just a done deal and for us to move on and says, that is it here. UE coming to Guyana. This is the University of the West Indies. Government targets training of 20,000 locals in the next 5 years. And so there's an interesting story here, the University of West Indies, and I did see the opposition raising a hulubu about this because Guyana has targeted the regional university to say, look, we need to train 20,000 locals in the next 5 years to build our capacity here in various areas. And the opposition is saying about why don't you take the same kind of arrangement and put the resources that you have, into the University of Guyana campuses. Those are just the ones in Berbice and the ones at Turkine, and so it is something to think about. But we'd have to wait very carefully. But the president, Irfan Ali, would have had talks with the officials from the University of the West Indies. And for me, I would love to see if you have a law program that is in Guyana that allows you to finish it here instead of going to Trinidad, that those kind of law programs that you would have that could be completed in Guyana. I want to do law, but I don't think I'm at this point in time that I am prepared to go to Trinidad or wherever it is that I have to complete those programs. If we offer it here, that might be another scenario. So there were things to talk about here as to why not University of Guyana versus the UE? But the president of Guyana had a conference call with them recently, and we are exploring a deal. We as in Guyana exploring a deal with UE to have some kind of presence here, so we could start this training. Maybe they're going to do it right at UG. I'm not sure. So we are going to continue to follow that story. Lall sues James Bond Jaipal Sharma for libel, and this has to do with the accusation that Lall, as Attorney General, also has a law firm and would have benefited from work done for the sale of land, state lands. So Lall had engagements with Jaipal Sharma, and of course James Bond was on his social media page as an attorney at law for. He's an attorney at law, and he would have been one of the faces for the coalition, would have taken on Lall. Well, he has sued them. It's almost $100 million for libel, what they would have published on their Facebook accounts. And let's see where that goes as well. Lall doesn't play. He's taken on a former minister as well as the attorney at law who was a senior official within the coalition for the last elections. Major breakthrough was two suspects in Legrand's murders, businesswoman's murder, nabbed in Suriname, female mastermind still at large. You can remember this lady was murdered, found gagged and dead in her home at Legrand's here, hours after she was seen. And so they were some cash traversing. Police were able to pinpoint two suspects. They were captured in Suriname early this week. What we could tell you is that the Guyana and Suriname collaborated on this, and so they're back here and they're searching for the woman who they said masterminded this murder of the businesswoman. What did they take? Is it just a robbery, or is it something more? We are going to be following the story as well. Alleged Ponzi scheme, more delays as thousands await repayments. This case here is continuing to rivet Guyana. 17,000 persons would have invested monies into what was told to them would be trading of foreign exchange on the international market. Some persons received their monies, others did not, and a lot of people are still out of pocket here because they believe that it was illegitimate things. It was the real deal. Authorities who was investigating this after the new government came into power in August would have said that it was a Ponzi scheme and not just trading. And so the late charges, 80 plus charges on the principal Cuban national who came to Guyana, married a local girl. And so the two of them are being accused of running this Ponzi scheme. I did reach out to principals within or officials who were linked to Garcia Dominguez here, Yuri Garcia Dominguez. And I did ask him to please come on the radio. This happened yesterday. The person got on to Yuri, or says that he got on to Yuri Garcia Dominguez. And Yuri Garcia Dominguez said him, please call my lawyer. When I called the lawyer's phone was turned off. The big problem is they've been several months now after these people were placed on bail. They said they were going to start paying people. Now, if you're paying 17 persons, 30 persons over a period of a couple of days, when are you going to finish paying 17,000 persons? So at the end of the day, the authorities need to be very serious. We've been played like yo-yos in Guyana. This is a very serious issue. When you take away people's pensions and the savings and everything, it is a very, very serious thing. However, on the flip side of that, I'm going to say to our people that we really dropped the ball here. We really listened to the wrong set of people. I understand that a pastor on the East Coast was involved. Pandits, I understand, were involved, who was goading and encouraging the people, their congregation, and the members of their mandates and so to invest. It's a real deal. A lot of them benefited too, received money, I understand. Did the police hold on to them? I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, this is a very sad story about how some Guyanese are willing to make quick bucks without doing the homework. When you hear box hand and this hand and blessings money and things like that, run far. If you don't know, call somebody that may have some ideas. Because if it's very, very simple. If you're making so much money, why is it a secret? Why is it not being advertised in the newspaper? Why is it not on television? Why is it not on Facebook? Why is it that, the whole America is not coming down to Guyana to invest in something that is so lucrative? Be smart, people. Wake up. Smell the coffee here. Coalition defending illegalities by asking lessees not to return Ogle lands. This is by Jagdeo. And you could remember that it is the coalition members, opposition members, or officials who were telling the people who would have received Ogle lands, do not return the properties that you would have gotten. These are very expensive, valuable land in the Ogle area where a 4-lane highway is going to be, or a link up from the East Bank to the East Coast is going to land somewhere around. The problem is that when these people receive the lands on the questionable circumstances around the elections time early this year, a lot of them did not even pay the full amount. And so it's like you buy a house or you buy a car for somebody, unless they trust you or love you so much, they're not going to hand over those properties or the car to you and you balance some money, especially when you pay just a fraction of that money. Why am I putting it in your hands, without you finishing or completing the transaction by paying the entire amount? So the government is moving to take back that. I rather see there is going to be a brutal fight there, a war that is going to happen. If you're now joining us, it's just about 1:20, 1:23 there. You tune into the Kaieteur Radio, and we are with the Wake Up Guyana show. I'm your host, Leonard Gildari, and we are looking at our favorite newspaper here today. In a very short while, we are going to be opening up the line 622-222. You could send those messages to that. Do not call us on that 622-222, or you could call us on 226-7453. Fired PS of Marine Affairs must be rehired. This is a union. GPSU is saying that. U.S. medical team conducting COVID-19 training across the regions. Tishana Lall, I think this is our director here at the radio, has been named the new Marketing Guyana Corporation General Manager. Congrats to you, Tishana. I think she says she wants to spread her wings and get some experience in that field there. So there's nothing wrong with that. If you move on, working wherever you are. I wish you all the best, my dear. Very warm person, very aggressive individual in marketing. She would call you and torment you the entire day. So I think the Guyana Marketing Corporation might be a better place because of our presence. Here's a story that would take that is going to be interesting to the Berbice people. You have one of the biggest markets in a place called Port Morant, East Berbice, Region 6 there. And there is, that very important organ, local government, Neighborhood Democratic Council, that you would see would manage various districts. Well, you had a NDC at the Port Morant area there that would have been coming under the spotlight here. This because recently an overseer was fired after she allegedly decided to do some fraud there with some receipts, some rental from the market. Instead of recording or handing over the amount that she received, she handed over a less amount. I think about $8,000 thereabout. She was fired for that. Here the story is, she's not the first one for the year. There was another overseer fired for almost the same thing early this year. I'm hearing reports that the Eccles NDC on the east bank of Demerara, one overseer over a period of time went with $20 million. So how does this thing not reach the media? How does it not reach the public's attention? Let me tell you what happened. What is so sad here? A man get caught stealing a bicycle or something is going to get 3-4 years. Man steals $20 million, walks away and smiles and shows the police his middle finger or her middle finger. That's what it does. Government targets installing 5,000 solar streetlights in 4 years. And we have here also 65 non-violent offenders would have been released by the prison. They said these are people who had just a few weeks or a few days remaining, and so they released them because they want to make space. You could recall early this year, a few weeks back, several persons, almost more than 200 persons, inmates at our prisons tested positive for COVID-19. That is sending them elsewhere. So they want to create some space, and so 65 persons get early release there. ERC, and here is an interesting story. ERC to host national conversation on ethnic relations here. I saw the story last evening and I said, finally, somebody is starting to think, somebody is starting to address some of the issues that are affecting us in Guyana here. And the ERC is the Ethnic Relations Commission, that is a body that really looks out, or is a watchdog when it comes to ethnic relations in Guyana. And let me tell you this, they are going to be holding it next month. I think the next month is the 14th and the 15th. And the 14th and the 15th of December. And the ERC has invited the president and opposition leader, the president here, Fanali, and opposition leader, Joseph Harmon, to be there to make addresses during this day. And it's probably going to be live on state television and maybe radios and so on. Look forward to that, because you could recall that our ethnic relations in Guyana, it has fallen to some worrying levels in terms of some of the things that we see on social media, some of what the politicians would have been doing. It's not so much that it's a normal man in the street. It's a lot of politicians who are really pushing this angle here, lighting the fire here, and fanning the flames of our ethnic tensions again, ethnic relations gone. Instead of we living lovingly with each other, we have politicians who should be responsible, looking out for the better of this country, are doing it. And so there is another one here, multi-agency probe in deadly mine in Pitcairn, and you should get your copy of the newspaper here. The Kaieteur newspaper today has a lot of news here. UG fails to certify graduates over a year. So we are coming down to about 127 thereabouts, and that Pitcairn, you got to be very careful in the hinterlands there. The weather is not so very good, and we have a lot of employees pushing the staffers to do other things, or to to take an unnecessary risk. And if you're in the gold bush, you know what those big pits are looking like. It's big. You see towering walls, and if you don't build it properly, if you're there digging at the bottom and you keep digging at the bottom and you don't dig it properly, it could collapse. And if it collapses, that entire thing comes on, and you can't escape. You're going to be buried alive. And so we've heard many cases over the last couple of years. The number of cases have been increasing because the number of mining activities or the level has increased dramatically. Gold prices have increased. We are hovering around that $1,900 per ounce, US $1,900 per ounce mark, and people are going to be taking a lot of risk, and so putting the staff under a lot of risk there too. So we are going to be seeing that. So right about now, we are headed into insurance time. And that is because we have one company who's looking at various ways that it could give you better coverage. And it is if you have a fender bender, you should get free coverage for up to $250,000 today. And what does CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. say in here? Full coverage with CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. at 121 Regent and Arnock Street. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home, 225-1787 or 269-0020. This is CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. And I think we all ready to get into our business for the people today. And what is it that you need to know? You need to know that you could send us those messages to 622-222, and of course call us on 622-67453. Do we have any callers on the line already? Well, let's start the business of our people today. Do we have any messages here? Let me see what is happening. Yes, many messages already here. Kaieteur News kindly ask Mr. Gildari to call me. I am going to call you in a very short while. It have to be after this show here. So thank you very much for that. I'm going to call you. Okay. Good afternoon. I'd like to have your price list for interviews. I'm not sure what is it that you were talking about here. Are you saying that we charge for having interviews here? No, we don't do that. If you're interested in having an interview with us, you could call us on 225-8491 and ask for the radio department, and they would be able to give you those necessary information. Thank you very much for tuning in on that. In the meantime, there's a caller online. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air. Go right ahead. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon. You are Kaieteur Radio right now. Go right ahead.
Hello?
Yes, you're on Kaieteur Radio at the moment. Go right ahead.
Right. So I have a concern.
Go ahead. We're hearing you.
Yeah. I have a concern. When I look at these products from other countries, let's say they're in a bottle form or whatever, I find that they have at the bottom, it says, please recycle or recycle. But there's no facility in our country that deals with recycling.
In Guyana?
Yeah.
Well, that's something that we've been looking at. The problem with recycling is that you need a cheap form of energy. And, we got a problem here with electricity and so on and the costs and so. In fact, that was an issue. It's strange that you asked or raised that issue here. One of my colleagues on there, I was talking to him this midday, he was eating, and he says, it hurts my heart that I have to throw away these bottles. He had two Gatorade bottles. And so he says, it hurts my heart that I have to throw it away. We need something to recycle. I agree with you what you're saying there.
Yeah. I think it's a big problem within our country and it needs to be solved because when it comes to the diversity of our people and also the forms in which recycling has been done across the world, I think a lot can be done when it comes to these plastic bottles all over the place, and it could help us in so many ways when it comes to drainage and so on.
Let me ask you a question. You've noticed this. Is it something you would like to get into?
Yes, definitely.
But why don't you pursue it? Because let me tell you why. A company came from the U.S. the other day, and they were looking at recycling plastic garbage, plastic or plastic that would have been dumped, plastic products into fuel. It is something because we could start if we have good people down here. If we could probably start looking at companies overseas and see whether some kind of partnership. But one of the issues, the elephant in the room or the hurdle that they would have to overcome is the cost of energy to do
Right.
something like this. I think even the Higgs Bosch dump site was looking to partner with some people to do that kind of thing, but I'm not sure how advanced that something like that has been. But let me tell you this, going forward, because of what is going to happen with the oil and gas and the influx of foreigners, which we are already seeing, there is going to be a problem, major problem with garbage.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah,
something to
definitely,
think
I want
about.
to get on board, and because I'm a school teacher, and to see these things happening, it really breaks my heart as well.
No. I'm glad that you raised that, man, because these are the kind of conversation that we should be having in our country if we really want to take it to the next level. In fact, our country should be so clean. We have to be disciplined, and we should be making money from garbage. Why not?
Yes, definitely, definitely.
Thank you very much, my brother. Any other comments?
No, that's it. I just want to say happy birthday to my grandmother.
Happy birthday to your grandmother. Happy birthday,
Happy
grandmother.
Paro.
Auntie Paro. Thank you very much, my brother.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye. You tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio. We head straight back into those messages. And what is it that the people are saying? Leonard, good afternoon, bro. I'm so happy that you birthed this program. God bless you. Keep up the program. It's the voice of the voices. Thank you again. Kaieteur News team, let me see what they're saying here. Blairmont NDC trailer, and somebody sent a photograph here. The trailer is parked up somewhere there, and it is not working. And the people are saying that there's no garbage collection in the Blairmont area, West Babis. There is a sugar estate there. It's a sugar community, and people are saying that the NDC in the area has a trailer where they could pick up garbage, but they have not, for the sake of a couple of nuts and bolts, the trailer is down, and at the end of the day, they're not collecting anything. So over to you, NDC, in the Blairmont area, in the West Babis area there, Region 5. The people are raising these issues here. They've sent the photographs, and you need to get your act together there. Hi, good morning. I have a serious problem I'd like you to highlight for me. I joined the Soosdijk Health Center for hypertension, and can you imagine, I go there for 3 years now, and only my pressure tablet and aspirin there are giving you, no vitamins. Every time they're telling you that they don't have any to give. I was there today, and not even my pressure tablets I get. Them give me a prescription to buy. Them don't even have a sink to wash your hands, just a pipe standing in the yard. Thank you very much for that, and I'm going to send this to Dr. Vishwa Mahadev. And, when you see these things here, they've already told us that some of the things, when they went in there for 2-3 years, the Ministry of Health did not purchase any kind of drug. So when they went in there, this is not me saying that. This is the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, and others like Dr. Vishwa Mahadev, who's the Director General in the ministry, what they would have found after they did some a quick analysis of the situation there. So I'm going to forward this to the officials, the health officials, in a very short while. Leonard, good morning to you and the staff of KK News. Lots of respect to Glenn Lall for addressing the incompetence of those oil contracts. Sir, Inter-American Development Bank is saying it's okay to borrow. Guyana, be careful when you borrow. What are these companies holding as collateral? Our lands or our oil blocks? If we default on these loans, then all are gone. All are gone. Thank you very much, dear Derek. Hi, Len. I would like to know if my rent, if I'm renting, if I will be able to get the $25,000. Are you the only one that is renting, or are you renting part of the property? If you're renting the entire property, I don't see any reasons why they can't give it to you. But you need to give me some more information there. I could tell you that they've started in some areas there. I think on the west coast of Demerara, there are people talking around the Vrede and Hoop and so on, receiving their monies. Hi, Leonard. Good afternoon. I live at Munashi Bagdam on the east bank of Demerara. When did they give out the $25,000 cash grant? Did it come in the Bagdam to give? No one in here. Someone told me that to go to the NDC at Perico. When I go there, they send me to Vreed and Hope NDC. What happened after you went to the Vreed and Hope? You need to give me some details here. Good afternoon, sir. I'm asking for some assistance for a child whose eyes are bad and parents can't afford to buy her a pair of glasses. If anyone can advise, we'll be happy to follow up. Thank you, Mr. Leonard. Thank you very much, my dear. Yes, you can. The Ministry of Health has some kind of program there. You could also, the Ministry of Health, this is on Brickdam, and you could also go to the Ministry of Human Services. Human Services, this is on Lamaha Street next door to the Lotto Company and the hospital there, the Georgetown Public Hospital. Lamaha Street next door to the Lotto Company and the Georgetown Public Hospital there. You go there to the Ministry of Human Services or the Ministry of Health. You could go to both of them and ask them about the possibility of some help. I know the Ministry of Human Services under Dr. Vindi Prasad, who is the minister there, they have a number of programs that could assist some less fortunate in Guyana. So you need to go there and probably find out if there whatever help you could get. So thank you very much. Do we have another caller online? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead. Yes, good afternoon, caller. Hello? I think we missed that. If you're calling in, it is 226-7453. And we would have been talking about this little boy here with the 15-year-old that was shot. We got to be very careful. One of the things that I was thinking about after the story came out yesterday, the boy that allegedly shot his friend, accidentally shot his friend. Apparently, he called his mom, and she came. They were out, and she came. And when she discovered this boy lying on the ground, she picked up her son and fled. And I think it's a natural reaction. You panicked and so on. But we need to start talking to our kids a little more. There's so many things that are affecting them. School, the school issues. If you're a teenager and so on, and you're in the school system, and you don't have internet, and so if you're dependent on the workbooks, and sometimes it's a very big challenge getting it back and forth, finished up, monitoring those children and so on. But you need to start talking to your children. I know that we have a lot of stuff on our plate. We have to bring in the dollars. We have to. If you have a job, you're fortunate to have a job, because there are many people without a job still. At least those are stories that are coming out. But if you happen to be fortunate enough and you have children and they're going to school, by when I say going to school, they're taking classes, whether it is by having the workbooks being collected or you're on the internet. Try talking to them. What is it that you're doing? Is there any help that you need? Because our problems that we have at home, the pressure, it could come out, and the children are seeing it. There's a lot of stress on these children, so you don't know what's going through the head. I'm not saying this had anything to do with it, this shooting here, but what I could tell you that it's good that we talk to our children. We need to teach them responsibility. We need to teach them what's right, what is wrong. Let them have an open conversation. Even if they got to talk sex with you, they got to talk anything, let them have conversation with you, because you would know where to draw the line and says what is it that you want in your home as the parent. But you cannot just leave it up to the children to figure it out, to battle. Back in our days, we used to we were placed, and then, I used to go by my grandmother and then more. My mom just started life, and so for school, I went up to live in Edmore. She was living in Torkine, very early in the 80s. So I used to be leaving my grandmother home, little boy going to primary school. I was walking from where the Edmore thing to the primary school, and I just about 7-8 years. And for me, back in those days, it was a norm that the kids would be very responsible and you do your stuff around the place. The kids nowadays don't have a lot of responsibility. I was looking at a video of a little child beating up the parent while they went to the doctors or some public office. It probably didn't happen here, and the mother was crying, and then she got so upset after he hit her a couple of times that she raised her hands on him. I presume that the child care is going to step in and have a talk with both of those, the child as well as the parent, about managing, about the way to behave and so on. But you see these things here, and you wonder, and you want us to start having the conversation so we could lift our game, to raise the bar for us to start addressing these issues and not just allow it to linger. As you know, Guyana has a major problem, which is single parent. There are many single parents in Guyana, and they have to work. Have you ever stopped to think what happened to those kids? How are they surviving? How are they making it through the day? Who's monitoring them? Do the parent who's working, do they have time? And when they come home, they have a lot of stress. They're making it every single day. Do the other parent, when you bring kids into the world, you should, even if you and the other parent can make out and there have to be a separation, you got to pay attention. You got to play your role to do what you have to do. Do not just walk away from that. That's a coward's way. That's a very irresponsible way. You brought that kid up into the world. You have to pay. You have to do your responsibility, carry out your responsibility, and your mandate there. Do we have a caller on line? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air? Go right ahead. Yes. Good afternoon, caller. Hello. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing? Go right ahead. You're on the air right now. You're on the Kaieteur Radio Wake Up Guyana show here. Go right ahead. Hello? I think so. If you call in, make sure that you're ready, because we're ready to get right on it as you call here today. So let me see what are some of the other things that people are saying. I traveled to GT on Monday and paid $1,500. Car took full load. The original fee was $1,000. I told the chauffeur that the restrictions were lifted and back to normal. The Rose Knoll GT route fleecing. I think you should raise this issue here with the police and find out whether there's something they could do. But you're right. We see many people taking advantage during this time here on the poor people of Guyana here. Somebody is saying, good day, my contribution today is about Region 7. The former president, David Granger, said that every tongue should be independent and have their own newspaper and build their own economy. Now, there's a few big mining companies like Troy Resources and the Chinese company that took over the Aurora mines and a few others. I'd like to know how many workers were employed from Region 7 to these companies, and if they support the business sector by buying grocery from Bartik and also support the farmers, but buying from them and the fishermen from Region 7. I would also suggest that these companies give to the council in Bartik a 0.25% worth of minerals that they took out for the development of health, insurance, sport, and education, and not a 0.25% for the communities in the region. And we're asking, we're demanding this. Thank you very much for that. Well, let me tell you something. It comes back to, and we've said this over and over again, and I hate preaching and coming back, but it looks as if you got to keep doing it until it's drilled in somebody's head. When you are a leader and you ask the people to put you in that position, you have to ensure that you come up with the policies or you manage in such a way that the people get benefits. It means that the deals that you're doing, the contracts that you are issuing for either the road repairs, whether it's for drainage, whether it's something or the other, whether it's a deal to do something to bring a business into your community, that the community benefits, that people must remember that Gildarius, the mayor for Bartika, has done such and such a thing. When we're doing these big deals, allowing the country to get a big company to come in, let's say the Aurora mines, the Chinese people took over from the Canadians and they come in here. That was a point that you would have had to sit down with them and says, look, I'm going to issue you this license or give you permission to operate as the new owners. These are what I like, what we would like, and as going forward, this is what you should be doing. And that person from Bartik is making it very, very clear. When we allowing these people to come into the region, it's our region. You are allowing a company to come into the region. Yes, you are the government, and you were the ones given some kind of okay. But the people got to use our facilities, our roads, maybe use our shopping area, maybe use our selling facilities, whatever it is at the end of the day. You are in our region. What is it that we're benefiting from? You just can't come in here and then where you buying from. So most of these companies here would buy from themselves. They buy, like the Chinese company has just hired another Chinese company to do the stripping, to move materials that it's doing mining with. When you dig out the rocks out of the ground, that you could take it to the mill for it to be processed, to be crushed and so on. Hired another Chinese company here and displace the locals. They try to put it in a very nice way that, yes, we're now starting back and therefore we're going to hire our locals. So we haven't forgotten them. Absolute nonsense. Aurora, you need to get your act together. You are a big company here digging out our gold from the backyard. So we need to get our acts together as administrators within this country here. This is the Wake Up Guyana show, and we will not have any holds barred when it comes to talking about the real issues, about talking about things that affect our pocket and about our quality of life in Guyana for our people here. In the meantime, do we have another caller? If we don't happen to have a caller right now, 2267453. Yes, caller, good afternoon. You're on the air. Go right ahead. Hello.
Hi.
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dalari.
Yes, it is. Good afternoon.
So I'm concerned about these bills with GPL since the new meter that they replaced.
These are the prepaid meters?
No, not the prepaid, the smart meters.
Yes. What happened with them?
Well, this is Enmore calling from here. They implant these meters in July at Enmore, right?
Uh-huh.
So from the starting of the year, through the pandemic, everything, it was coming like normal, 9,500, 9,000, never passed $10,000. Approximately about 2 years, they like that. And when they put on this smart meter, July, in August, I was waiting for the bill, to know how really it's working. And then the bill comes 25,000 something.
You try to find out from them what is happening?
Yeah, they tell me that's the way how smart meter working.
There's a way that smart meter working? Well, I want to tell them that this is the way that the Guyana people working right now. You are going to go to the Public Utilities Commission. You could call them in. And I want you to call them in, and I want you to start engaging the Public Utilities Commission. I'm not sure whether I have a number for you here, but let me see. Okay. Temporary closure, let me see. I'm trying to get a number for you if I can. But the Public Utilities Commission, if you could get hold of a number for them and just call them here. Let me see. No. I don't happen to have a number right now, but check the directory, Public Utilities Commission, and call them and give them that there, because there's an alternative that you could do to GPL Public Relations Office, 225-1471.
225-1471.
Yes, 1471. Tell them that you need some help, that you call the radio station here at Kaieteur Radio, and we've told you that that you could call them for some assistance as to why is it that your bill got gone up if you haven't started burning anything else. I think we need to engage them now.
I went into them yesterday and they tell me that they're not doing no query on these bills right now. So I know what they're waiting on.
Well, I got an issue with that. They want you to continue paying and they're not doing any queries?
Yeah, they said they're only doing the payments right now. They're not doing no queries.
All right, thank you very much. 225-1471. Tell them that that's not good enough and that you need them to start looking into it right now.
All right, thank you, Mr. Galari.
Thank you very much, dear. That's absolute madness. So GPL says to the customers, we're not querying in right now. But you at the end of the month, make sure that you pay your bill, whatever bill that we give to you, because I don't know, sometimes when I hear some of these things here, Raj, it just sends me on the other side. How would you tell a man to pay, he used to pay $9,000 and now you're being asked to pay $25,000. When you query it, it says we're not querying right now, but you paid the $25,000. GPL, you got to be making jokes, man, and I do happen to have some friends here. GPL, Mr. Ramtahal, and so on and so forth, you guys need to, what happened to Mr. Albert Gordon? There's a Jamaican CEO there that has been there. I haven't seen a press conference from you for the longest while, sir. People have been complaining about the crappy service that GPL has been offering, about some of the madnesses happening at GPL there. Yes, we know that there are many issues. It's not something that started yesterday, but you need to tell the people something. You're being paid a very hefty salary. It's not a joke that we're paying you. And so at the end of the day, state-owned company, got to come better than that at the end of the day. In the meantime, let me see. Good afternoon, Uncle Leonard. Uncle Leno, they call me now. Who said we're not living in Dubai already? Take a look at the video below. There's a water leakage happening here in Craig on the East Bank between the double bridge. Just before you enter New Hope, it's just been happening for over 3 months. I think no one seems to care. Please forward it to the relevant authority for it to be fixed. Yes, I'm going to forward this to the officials here. Thank you very much for that. For the folks down in Craig on the East Bank of Demerara, the folks of Hope, or the folks of Grove. Good afternoon, Leonard. Please highlight this to me. This Raghunandan Sand Road in Suzdike needs the silting. It's in a terrible state with overgrown bush, and the NDC has bypassed the Sand Road for whatever reason. I don't know. They've cleaned the others, and this one is neglected. I'm going to send this to the people again. Thank you very much for that. Good afternoon, sir. What about the expiry supermarket in front of Starbuck Market in front of KFC? I'm not sure what you're talking about here. What is an expiry supermarket? Could you give me a little more explanation there? Thank you very much. Do we have another caller in the air? Good afternoon, caller. You're in the air. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
I'm calling in pertaining to an accident I had, and the people that I had accident with, they transferred something, and they fraud me, and I take them to court to get the life of fraud me again, and it just
I'm not getting you very clear. You had an accident, and what happened?
So I was sort of 2 days unconscious, and the people that I had an accident with, they took all my documents and declared that they paid me some $1 million while I was unconscious.
Who's that?
The people that knocked me down.
And was this matter reported to the police or so?
I didn't know it was reported police because I was sort of 2 days unconscious.
And when did you come out of being unconscious?
Well, I went into unconsciousness in the 20th of December, and I woke up on the 23rd of January.
This year?
No, it was since 2011.
And what and so why are you raising this matter now? Why didn't you look at it before?
Because the matter I couldn't walk nothing at the time. It took me 2 years to learn to walk. By then I barely remember what to do.
So you could walk. You could walk right now.
Yes.
All right. There's a place, the Mirage Building. You know the Mirage Building on Charlotte Street?
I went there.
Legal Aid.
Yes, and they them is the person that make this thing reach the 5 to 7 to 8 years. Because I was there in 2 years, and they told me I had an expiry date was 2 years.
Yes, there's a statutory. Statutory is a big word. All it simply means you got limited time in which you could make these claims.
Yes, but then I did get a lawyer who found that they had fraud me, and we took it up, and frauding that statute of limitation. So lawyer get a fraud charge against them, and the lawyer turned around and fraud me too.
Oh my goodness! So where's the case right now?
I got the old jacket from the High Court, everything, but the case thrown out because of lack of evidence. Lawyer never went and get it. Lawyer never get the doctor to say how I was when I was on this money. If they said this money, pay how I was, and nothing. So I know I lost the case.
Oh my goodness! So I think if the statute of limitation has gone out, very little you could do.
But with fraud, in the case of fraud, it doesn't have statute of limitation.
Well, you might have to talk back to the people at the Mirage building. They try to see another lawyer and see whether you can file a private criminal charge against the people.
Yes, but these things cost you, and I'm afraid that's what I don't have.
Yeah. No. But the explorer, don't give up. Don't give up on it. You go back, tell them that we advise you, because if it is, there's no statute, meaning there's no limitation on the time that you could file a private criminal charge. In Guyana, we would have seen in the last couple of months a lot of people filing private criminal charges. So that means there's a possibility. I think you can.
They had fraud me. That's why it changed from accident to fraud, because they had fraud me. They had signed the paper that I was supposed to sign over this collect money. We received that
You need to come see me, because I can't be able to judge what it is. Come sometime next week and come see me maybe in the morning. Let's say Tuesday or so, about 11.
Where?
At the office, Kaieteur News office here on Saffron Street. Bring your documents. Let me see. Tuesday morning. Though I think that's the best day, about 11 o'clock or so. But I need to have a look at those documents. I can't be able to make any conclusions.
I'm glad to see it.
Thank you very much. See you Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So you're tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio. We coming to you live from our Saffron Street studio on 99.1 in Esquimalt and Demerara. And if you're in Berbice, it's 99.5. We also coming to you live on Kaieteur Radio Facebook, Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. So it was a pleasure listening, hearing from you folks. Let's see what the people are saying here today. They're saying, "Hi Len, we renting the whole house I live in upstairs and somebody live downstairs. We'll get the $25,000. Will we get the $25,000? The owner live in Georgetown. If you're living upstairs, I think they're going to give to you, but the downstairs one, they would have to do some investigation. That person would probably have to file or to fill out the pink form, as they call it now, which is making a claim for an additional money for that house there, because you're a tenant, and it would have to be investigated by the authorities there. And talking about that, there was a news coming out a claim this morning that the policemen on the Region 3 area, and I would have to call one of my friends across there, because I understand that she's leading the team across there. She apparently doesn't know the policemen, for every $25,000 that's happening there, the policemen are asking people to give them a little raise, a little $2,000 here, a little $3,000 there, $5,000. You want the $25,000, we can give it to the three y'all, but you got to make sure you give us a raise. Yeah, imagine something like this. I hope that I'm not. I hope this is a bad news. I hope this is something that's wrong, that is not true. But we're going to investigate it. That this is happening on the west bank of Demerara there. And it's for one of the NDC and the Lagrange going on around those areas there. So I'm going to be calling her after this to find out what exactly is happening, because the police people, shame on you if this is indeed the case. I'm going to call shame on you until I find out a little more. And if after that that is not true, I would gladly apologize. But in the meantime, I hope this is not true, because I'd be the first one to call for you to be jailed or something, locked up or something like that for demanding money with menace. Leonard, I'm praying every day for the Commissioner of Police to arrest the woman who cut out those boys' neck. We're looking for you, killer. I'm not sure. What is it that you're talking about here? Again, for the second day. Do we have a caller online? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air.
Go right ahead.
Hello? 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 Yes, good day. You on to Kaieteur Radio? Hello? I think so. I think today seems to be a very bad day. It's either there's water in the line, or something is happening. But what I could tell you right about now, it is insurance time. And this is what the insurance people are saying. Did you get a fender bender? Get free coverage for up to $250,000 rather. And that is if you're scared of getting a fender bender as well. You could get the coverage for up to $250,000 today. The full coverage with CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. at 121 Regenton or Knox Streets. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. Do we have a call online? Good afternoon, caller. You're in the air. Go right ahead. Hello? Yes, good afternoon, caller.
Mr. Gillardi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Just calling to tell you, you're doing a good job, keep it up, and I was the call who called yesterday that, we Guyanese supposed to, we got to educate ourselves a little more better, for know our laws and our protection, that we got certain things we could do, and we know, understand, let people know. So we have to educate ourselves and just prepare for the future. Have a nice day, sir.
No, thank you very much, dear, and your words are kind. Have a pleasant rest of the day. And it is indeed true. If you really want to uplift your lives, we want to become very smart people. Do not be stupid people. Do not be people, I don't think we're stupid people. I think it's more of a case over the years. We always looked at the other person and said it is their job. It's a job of the NDC person. It's a job of our politicians. It's a job of the education ministry. What about in the neighborhoods that we live in? Whose job is that to keep it clean? Is it the NDC's job, or is it our responsibility? Just let us do something while they're good for cleaning the back drain and the front drain and so on, and picking up garbage and so. At the end of the day, the general cleaning of your yard, the parapet, the fence, and the whole upkeep about how your fence looks, how your driveway looks. Has it been washed? When was the last time that you swept it? If there's a tree that is overgrown that is touching the wire, could you do something about it? So it is a lot of responsibilities on our part too. What we do whenever we see people throwing garbage around the place, let's stop them right in the tracks. Let's start opening our mouth. Let's start being familiar with the laws of Guyana, because that's the only way you could tell a policeman when he stops you. Yes, you could give me a ticket. Do not carry me to the police station. That I think this is not something that you need to carry me to the police station to. If he doesn't have his book, that's his problem. But I'm not going to go to the police station with you for the simple reason it's a ticketable offense. So you could start doing that if you know the law, of course. Do we have a call online? Good afternoon, caller. Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
I'm listening to you every day.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I learn as I go through life is that when you're criticizing, you criticize with love. Now I'm referencing to you yesterday. I was trying to get in.
Mm-hmm.
When you say the late Forbes Burnham say people must plant, but where the money was coming from. We took independence in what year? I think 1966.
Mm-hmm.
And I also learned that when you're doing a business, it takes 5 to 10 years before you start seeing profit from that business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're running a country, you got to make preparation. And one thing the late Forbes Burnham teaches us, he teaches us to plant our own food. Yes, who wouldn't buy the food, as you said? In those days, it was bartering until we get on our feet. Then we would start selling. But from the beginning, you got to creep before you walk, right? And we can't criticize a previous administration just because we feel to ourselves the wrong is the right and the right is the wrong. We have our own thinking capacity to think clearly and to try to understand the magnitude of life and about being a democratic country. You understand? You're doing a good job. I like your spirit. I like what you're doing, but still, we gotta be fair when we're talking.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bad talk somebody because it's easily said.
Well, I didn't. I was talking it in terms of. I think what Burnham, and we can put it in perspective. It's a good topic to talk about.
Yeah.
Burnham, that was a very good thing. Plant local. In fact, over the years, I saw the Minister of Agriculture would have come back with it in certain ways. But hold on, you got to remember something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we got to put things in perspective. And as you hear, maybe we could have a discussion on this and later on. But I saw somebody wrote some time back that when you're doing things, when you take decisions, it has to be in context that you take everybody's role and so on. For the Indian folks that live in India, the Indian population that who are Hindus and so on, flour was a very, very important thing. People use it to make parsad, and they do rotis and things. It's a big part of their thing. Dal. In Indians, for the Indian, dal is a big thing. And so when you block these things here and you don't give people the alternative, or maybe the reason why you would do it, you would have to put alternatives to the people.
Listen, we had dal. You could do black eye with dal. We got our own peas, we got pigeon peas. But you see, people just using dal because it's a tradition.
It's a tradition.
But we could use other peas, other legumes. Look, listen, let me tell you, we're talking about the rice flour. We're born on ban rice flour. You're talking about Indians. They make a lot of money. Look, I used to live in Sophia, not the Sophia where they got here, right? On the East Coast, Conversation Tree, the next area. Those Indians used to make coconut oil. I used to buy a gallon every month. He teach us, he ban the saltfish, he teach us to make saltfish. He teach us to make our own salt beef. Look, Sanata Textile Mill. He started teaching us to make our own cloth. And if we had continued on that trend, Guyana was in a far better position that we are right now. Watch, we are talking about the tin, not you, but they talk about the tin stuff, right? They got to put chemical in those tin, right? For bring them tin peas and this and that to Guyana, how much months, and then they got it on the shelf. Let us eat our own fresh grown peas instead of chemical to the body, and that is killing us out. Mr. Goldari, they got the young people that can't stand up to the old people. You know why? They eat and share fertilizer thing.
I agree with you. And one of the things, we have so much beautiful thing here. One of the things that aches me is when I see people, I tell my kids every single day, I said, you guys don't eat Edo, but you don't know how Edo is good for you, how good it is in blood. And I don't really eat potatoes. You know why I don't eat potatoes? Because I have a preference for Edo. And it's for me. It's for me. It's not that I don't like potatoes, but it's for me. For it's something in my being is that I have a preference, and I agree with what you're saying there.
Look, when you go by the market, how many greens they're throwing away. Guyana is a rich country.
Yeah, and the plantain flour is a nice thing and make nice porridge. It's a nice thing.
Let we don't hide the fact or stifle our conscience. Boredom did a lot of good to this country, and he took it from the ground. And as he took it from the ground, we gotta continue.
I think it's more of including the people. I think the debate is are we including the people when we think it, or do we just call the people and say, this is what I've decided for you.
It's always good to talk.
Of course.
When the shoes on the left foot and you're not feeling any squeeze, but take off that shoes and put it on somebody else's foot. And then it'll be so tight for them. And then, it's true, he is saying the shoes really tight for me. When we get a house, we got to go in and we got to clean it out because the previous tenants may left it dirty. Oh, and they pull out the wire. So you now come rent this house, or you the landlord. You got to rewire this house, paint over this house, look after the furniture, got it bright so you could rent it out again. And while you're doing that, time is going, the years coming and going, and I'm only using an example,
Yeah. I hear you, sister. Right. You're right on target, and I like your kind of language. You know what? Conversation is good. It goes two ways, and we could agree.
You listen to me, and I listen to you.
Of course, I love that.
And they got a program, agree to disagree.
Yes. And no, I like it. Look, but whether we like it or not, all the leaders in Guyana have made their mark in Guyana. The Bar Jagdio, Chedi Jagan, Barnum, even Donald Ramutar.
Ali.
Yeah.
Our President Ali, he's a Muslim, and I am a Muslim. And I hope he do something for us Muslim people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So, at the end of the day, it is we could have all sides of the equation here. when we're talking about issues that comes to us. And yes, some people would have looked at Burnham and believed that he did a lot of good for this country, a lot of highways, a lot of schools, and so on. Some people would have said that at the end of the time, that he started getting a little power crazy. But there are two and three sides to every story. History will record us in different ways depending who is writing the story. Good afternoon, Leonard. I'm from Parfait Harmony. I'm fed up with the firecrackers. I have 8 dogs and they're trembling and urinate themselves, and the police station not far away, not doing anything. And by the way, somebody called me this morning. Parfait Harmony police station there. The people are saying that you're not doing your job as the police. I mean, there are 2 and 3 sides to every story. Again, if people going to you and they're making complaints, you got to listen. You got to listen. Do not send them away. You're not sure. And don't be like the police people up in Berbice, in which the man went to the police station and said, I just killed my wife. And the police says, you're drunk, get out of here. And it's only because his family was outside watching to see where he was going. They probably were fearful that he probably going to kill himself. And took him back and says, yes, he indeed killed his wife, and now he's before the courts. Do not be like that. It could be a very serious case. And so I would not like to be hearing that the police sent away somebody or did not do something, and a tragedy happened because of that. Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Dildari. This is not Gildari now, Dildari. I went by my family in Tushan, and when the people was there sharing the $25,000, when my auntie collect her $25,000, the people are walking around with them to ask her for $5,000. All right. Let me see how we can do this now. 6222222. Gildari is also at the newspaper, 2258491. If you know of any case of policemen, and if you happen to know the names and the location where they would have asked people for money, if you were one of them, and not unafraid, you haven't broken the law by giving them money, but if they have demanded the money, so you could have your $25,000. Well, we have some serious issues there. I would like to know about it. The newspaper would like to know about it. The radio would like to know about it, because that is the madness and the nonsense that is happening here. The police people, if you are doing your stuff and you would dare with the persons sharing out the $25,000, do not demand any money. I think you should know better than that. I don't even have to tell you that. That is something, it means that you're forcing people to pay to you, and people would be afraid. People are going to believe that you're going to give them a hard time. When I say you, the people there are going to give them a hard time if they don't pay up that $5,000. They are also going to be the impression that as if you're acting as the broker in this situation, if you get my gist. So if anybody knows that any policeman would have demanded money on behalf of the team that is sharing out the $25,000, please share it with us, 6222222. Or you could call us on 2258491 and let me know those details, so we could be able to pass it on to the relevant authorities. Name and shame, that's what we do at this point in time. So, good afternoon, good day. It is Clervo from Finland. Interesting news from the elections. Thank you very much. This is U.S. elections. Hi, good afternoon, Leonard. Ever since the closure of the Wales estate, many of the residents were left with the only choice of doing odd jobs for a living, as 90% of them grew up in the sugar cultivation. And that's the only job they knew of. Even such odd jobs is something that no one could get so easily. Leonard, my point is that the residents are stretching as far as the free and easy to the canals polders. Many of them barely make ends meet, trying with the little that we have to survive. Now, one of our relatives falls sick, especially during the night or weekends, considering a barely manageable income. We find it very difficult to hire a taxi to transport our sick and injured to the hospital, except if somebody feels sorry for you and offer a free drop to the hospital. What are we asking for, Mr. Gildari, is that the Gaisuko heads consider to resume operations of the estate's ambulance on a 24-hour basis. Presently, the ambulance only works Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Anything after that, the poor suffers and die unless some good Samaritan comes to the rescue. Now that COVID is here, most of them don't want to touch you. So please see what best you can do. Thank you very much. It's a legitimate concern and a solution that is being offered here. And these are the kind of things that we talk about. Hi, Leonard. Good afternoon. I'm asking the government to check out all the NDC on all the NDC. I'm living at Good Hope South, East Coast Demerara. I had flooding in my area lately. I had to clean my drains and parapet, but I cannot clean the big trench the NDC from Luzaknan is in charge of, and no one comes around. Same old story every single day. You need to get onto your NDC, write a letter to them. You've got to start doing some stuff for yourself. Write a letter to them, write it to the NDC, to the RDC chairman, and to Minister Lall. And you can even drop it to the newspaper. If you have internet, email to us with your phone number and your name, and you could probably add. Of course, we don't publish the phone number. If you want to keep out your name, you could keep it, but send it to us and we could publish it so we can name and shame some of these people here who are not doing the job or who are just doing what they're supposed to be doing because that's all they want to do. Everything the business people sell in big market, when it expires, they give to the small vendors and they sell it in front of the KFC. Oh, I see what you're saying there. Thank you very much. So there's an expiry supermarket in front of the Starbucks market. So the business people that sell in the big market, in Starbucks market, when they have expired goods, they give it to people who sell it in front of the KFC. Well, the business people in the Starbucks market here, the people are paying attention to you. Stop with your nonsense. I think it was a couple of weeks back that the city council would have gone with the authorities in Starbucks market there, and they would have seized some goods there. Why are you selling to the people? Why is it that you're doing that? And why are the people who are selling these things back selling them? Why are you doing that? And if the people find you, I'd be the first one to make sure that you end up on the newspaper there. Hi, good afternoon, Leonard. Now the vice president by 2024, Guyana will see all the major cash flow from the oil and gas, so as to do major development and modernize the country. How can that happen when around the same time, the very time we'll pay the oil company about $20 billion pre-cost bill? I don't understand the VP. Well, this is something that we're trying to get clarifications on the newspaper. According to what I'm reading here and what is coming out is that there are questions, because if it is yes, you are going to get your royalty on everything, and if you sell the oil, you're going to get part of it. But don't forget that you could get more profits. It's two ways that you're getting money from the oil. Number one, in other countries there are more than one ways. Well, let me rephrase that. There's several ways to get money from the oil and gas industry. Number one, countries would sign a deal with the companies that say, look, we need a royalty. Every time you sell that oil there, you're going to give us $5 out of that $100 that you sell in the oil. That's one way. We have a two-way system, and I'm going to explain each one to you. So you get $5, or in this particular case with the Exxon block with Starbucks, you get 2%. I'm going to come back to the 2%. You also get what you call a profit share. They say it's a profit share, that it's 50-50. You give your 50% profit. Now, let me tell you where we go wrong with this. If you own a business with somebody and you say, I'm going to give you 50, that person is managing it for you. And that person says, I'm going to give you 50% business. But that person is not watching the expense or deliberately inflating the expense. What do I mean by that? They buy a car for $20 million when it's supposed to be $5 million. But he pocketed that $15 million. But he hand you a bill for $20 million. When you profit, it's time to do your profit. What do you expect is going to happen? It's going to be less than $15 million. So the profit share is going to be reduced. I just give you a simple explanation there. So they hire planes to bring in their workers and fly them out back, and you don't know what they're paying for it. They hire these big companies to build the FPSOs and the ships. And you're not able to determine how much it is, whether those are the right figures or not. But you're expected to pay it. So when they give you a bill of $20 billion, is that the right figure that they're giving to you? Or is it something else? So let's wake up. Let's open our eyes. Let's open our ears. Start listening. Start doing things the right way, which is questioning. What is it that you're giving to us? I think this government inherited what would have been signed in 2016 based on what is being told to them, that you can't just reverse this deal. There's some people who would disagree and says we can do some adjustments to it, but there are other ways that you earn money too. Something called local content. It's just a big term of saying, well, you got to do some business with the local people. If you want some welding jobs, yes. If you want to provide transportation business or you want to bring people from the airport, yes, I think Civil Taxi is doing it. You want to stay in the hotel, local content. You want to buy food, local content. The reality is that many companies are coming into Guyana and they are being hired by Exxon to provide these services. So what you find, Exxon is going to pay them a hefty amount, but they're paying to the contractors in Guyana something that is next a petty little amount or something that is that should not be the right amount that they paid. So there are many ways that we're looking at it, that we are discovering right now that we've been screwed, literally, by the what has been the practice of these companies here. So when we look at it and compare some of these deals to what other countries are getting, we want to know where were the people who signed these deals. We can understand if you sign a deal in 1999 and the terms, because you didn't have oil in any case. Come in and do whatever it is. When you do the production or you find oil, we're going to come back and do another agreement with you. I can understand that. But what about when you find oil and you come back and give them a better agreement than what the people get? And the people drop everything abroad and come to Guyana because it's so lucrative. It's the best thing that happens in the world. And they're telling you how this is the best thing for Guyana. So if you collect peanuts, how is it going to be the best thing? If you want to live like Dubai in the United States of America, how is it going to be the best world? How is it that you're going to have the Dubai of Guyana happening? Are we crazy? Take your heads out of the sand and wake up. That's what we have to do. So this government has been left with a contract and they're trying to make heads and tail out of it, and the pressure's on them to do a little better. Hi Leonard, good afternoon. Good to hear that the police making $25,000 a day from COVID relief. I think that's a very sarcastic by that person there. In the meantime, do we have another caller? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. Go right ahead, sir.
Mr. Gilari?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good afternoon. Since yesterday I'm trying to get onto this program concerning the bars. It's first time calling. Concerning the bars, the caller yesterday said that the bigger bars are open. What happened to the smaller bars?
Well, the smaller bars can't pay the kind of money that the big bars doing it. And I tell you why. The police are passing up and down. Surely you're seeing it. So you're taking money. Somebody taking money.
I could tell you this happened in area that I live in, up East Coast, that if you have a little family get together, the police come and close you down. They got other places open up after curfew and they don't go, like the Giftland Mall. The strip is open all till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and nobody seems to do nothing about it.
Yes, it is. It is. Where exactly in the East Coast do you live in?
I live in Monrepo.
Monrepo, and there's a lot of bars that's open in that area there?
No, we don't. The smaller bars can't open because what happens, people tend to close down it.
Right. But is there any bar in that area that's open at all, or everything?
No. We don't have no bars in this. The only one bar we have in this village here, this is Agriculture Road. And he don't open at all.
All right, but I know of other areas because I'm living in areas along these banks there, and I see them and I smile because the police are on the roads every day driving up and down, and it looks as if, the horses when they're on the road with those horse cars, they put the things over their eyes and they only see what is in front.
Yeah.
It seems as if the police have that over their eyes.
This is being unfair to people.
It's not unfair. It's not unfair, my brother. They're corrupt. Let's call it for what it is.
Yeah, I know. But the people ain't got it like bill, phone bill, just as normal people got to live.
Right, and that's you see the funny thing is if they close everybody else, people won't complain. I think people would have an understanding that it's going right across this country. It's not only that, it's for good. But when you see your next door neighbor Harry open in the next village and you can't open, you want to know whether somebody got a grudge against you, or whether the world is unfair or God is sending you or something. Something got to be you wondering.
So with the terms of curfew, after 10:30, people they picking and choosing people who to pick on the road.
But why are you on the road after 10 o'clock? 10:30.
No, I ain't said me.
No, but
I
I'm
guess-
saying, why are the
Yeah,
people
yeah,
on the
yeah,
road?
That's true. That's true.
You're
That's
not.
true.
You're only supposed to be on the road if there's there's a curfew, whether we like it
Yeah,
or
yeah.
not. I see people still on the thing, and in fact, a couple of our reporters at Kaieteur Radio, Kaieteur News, was on the road, and the commander stopped, and the commander arrested him. And when we called him, when he called in, the boss man, Glenn Lall told me said to tell the workers that if you're on the road and you do something wrong and the police call him, lock them up. You can't be on the road after 10:30. If they catch you, you must have a legitimate explanation. It's either you're an essential worker or something. But I hear what you're saying about the bars.
Okay, Mr. Gilari.
Thank you, my brother. All the way up on the East Coast there, Monrepo area. I want to say good day to the East Coast people. Monrepo Agricultural Road, Strathspey, you see Better Hope, Rise Loss, the Starlight area there, wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing. BV, Paradise, and more. Coven John, Haslington. If I miss there, it's not because I've forgotten you. I just can't remember those names of those places. It's been a while since I moved from the East Coast, but I do love the East Coast. Lots of warm people up there. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildari. I'd like to know what the government and the police doing about the sleeping hotel bar too. I see people posting video partying there. I'm going to send this to the police and see what they could do with it. Thank you very much. The police force is run by one set of people, and these people get 2 and 3 homes to maintain. You're going to get this problem. And this is happening in front of the, I think they're talking about the Starbucks area with the expiry goods and the vendors there. I called the NDC and the RDC. I called the NDC and the RDC. I called the local government. I spoke with one, Mr. Lall, and he said he's going to look into the matter, but to no avail. I'm retired. I'm a sick person. I'm a pensioner. And this person is talking about the Good Hope area and the drains there, and saying that, I raised this issue with them about our flooding and they're not doing it. Thank you very much for that. Do we have a caller online? Yes. Good afternoon, caller on the air. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gildari.
Good afternoon, sir.
I'd like to know what the government is doing for the small community of Sandhills.
Sandhills, there's a Soosdijk Linden Highway?
No, Sandhills, Reederus up the Demerara River.
Yes, sir.
Where these bauxite company is digging out our expensive bauxite from behind us.
That's Bonasika. Are you talking about Bonasika, sir?
Bonasika, yes, and it's doing very little for us.
And they're doing absolutely nothing for you. All right. In fact, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to send this message here to the Ministry of Natural Resources, because they got to come back. Let me tell you this. There's a big word or a big term that they use to describe what foreign companies or big companies do for the communities. It's called corporate responsibility. And what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to give back to communities in some kind of ways, whether it's electricity, whether it's the provision of water, health services, transportation. If they make a donation for something or something, they make those responsibilities. But I hear you what you're saying. I'm going to send it to the Ministry of Natural Resources.
We are doing very little because they promised to give us water since last November, and we can't get a drop now when water is life.
Okay, this is water. And what's the name of your place? It says Sandhills?
Sandhills, Reederus. And this company came and segregated our community.
All right. And so you were asking for the water. Is the water that you want?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to send it.
I have another point. The government is not caring about the farmers up in the Demerara River. And we would like to get some attention of the government to pay some attention to us, seeing that this COVID is on and we cannot access the market as we used to do because there is restriction of a certain time that we cannot go anymore, and nobody's coming into us and trying to help us.
So what you're asking with regards to that, what is it that you want the government to do?
The previous government, as in Barnum time, I heard a woman was speaking just now. They used to send agriculture officer into the community to check up on the farmers. And to help us out with whatever way they could help. But over the 30 years now, we never get no visit from no agriculture team, see what pest is bothering you.
What's the population like in the Sandhills area there?
Well, the farming mainly is in the Demerara River, and you have a large amount of farmers in the Demerara River.
How many are we looking at?
Over 50 farmers.
50 farmers.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give you a number, 227 5049.
227 5049.
This is the Ministry of Agriculture. If you could get somebody to call there, and maybe they could make arrangements for a team to come down from the ministry, or you guys could probably make a delegation go down to the ministry. Whichever way it is, I start the process on that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
227 5049.
227 5049. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. All the way from Sandhills and up the Demerara River there. Do you know there's an island just around, I think it's the Land of Canaan area, the back there, that people actually live on. There's some other world is out there that is up the Demerara River that a lot of people not even aware of. There's a whole different world there. Bonasika, there's across the Demerara River that people are doing bauxite. If you fly from the airport heading west, this from the Chedijagan International Airport, you could actually see the Bonasika project that's happening there. This is aside from the one that they have at Linden there, Region 10, and of course from the other area in the Kwakwani, Araima area around there. So we are going to be looking into another issue here now. Good afternoon. I was a nurse at a night shelter and administrator. He used to put out, or the person used to put out certain kind of patients on the road because they don't want to give the pension book over to her and the other patients too. I talked for my right and she victimized me, and that's not right, and she would send me off my job and I did not get paid one time. A female patient wanted to have a relationship with me and I said no. I'm not sure if this night shelter falls under the Ministry of Human Services. Could you take your case there to the Ministry of Human Services, to either the PS or to the minister? I think they want to they're willing to talk about these things because they have a very serious minister there now, Minister Vindhya Prasad. I think whenever I talk to her, they're looking at a number of stuff, and I get the impression that she wants to engage on these matter. If you do not get anything, then let me know back. Just text me and let me know. That's true, sir. They don't want to give me no money. This is a Tushent North. They miss a house, 9 houses, and there's 2 weeks now, nobody come back. You need to talk to somebody in that area there with regards to Tushen, if they miss an entire area there and then go back. I can't understand. This thing baffles my mind. Baffle is a good word that the Attorney General would have used a couple of weeks back to describe a reporter. But I'm baffled. If you're going into an area, there's a street, houses on two sides of the street, and you say, look, I'm gonna have to give to each one of the house in this area. How do you miss 9 houses? It does not reflect on your report and you don't go back to it. How does that happen? How do you report it back, and where is the money? So something is happening here. I'm getting a little extremely worried about some of the reports that I'm getting, especially with the reports that policemen are asking people for part of the $25,000. Not good at all. So something is wrong here. Either the system is wrong or the people are telling lies that are out there that are sending me wrong messages. I don't believe so. It means that the people, you got to know whether you haven't collected the money or not. I don't believe you'd want to send it to the newspaper or the radio here to tell us that you haven't collected the money when you have collected the money. So it got to be that something is wrong in the system. It got to be that the people who are doing the distribution are not paying attention, or something is wrong. I don't know. We have to get to the bottom of it. Another thing, there's a form online to be filled out to sow mass, but you have to put what's your race. What is that? You have to fill in your race. Don't fill in your race. I'm not sure, but I'm going to have to check it out. You have to fill in your race if you put in an application. I got to check it out. What is live? The pipe at Grove Post Office Street still remain the same, bro. All right. Again, one more time, I'm going to have to send this to the Grove Post Office Street. Grove Post Office Street. Grove Post Office Street, Water. Thank you very much for that. Do we have another caller in here? Good afternoon, caller. You on the air. Go right ahead. Hello. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Larry.
Yes, it is.
Mr. Larry, this expiry goods at the market
Uh-huh.
is very disgusting.
You experience it too?
Yes, I can tell you. No, I can tell you. I work around the market here, and there's a lot of goods from Amtuna that's sold here. You understand? People are buying up these goods. It may got a 2 month, a 3 month, and sell to the people.
I'm gonna have to ask you something. From my little knowledge that I have, the MNCC plays a big role. The Food and Drug Analyst plays a big role. Who is the one, for your knowledge, that is supposed to be coming around there to check?
Not the food and drugs people.
The Food and Drugs people.
Yes, they're the people supposed to check those things.
Well, I'm gonna have a chat with Mr. Marlon Cohen from the Food and Drugs.
Things, sir.
Yes, sir.
The Integrity Commission. Has the government, as the ministers, them exposed their assets? Is it?
Very good question. Thank you for that. We'll have to raise this issue again.
I know for a long time the present opposition have not declared their assets.
Thank you very much for that. We'll definitely raise that.
To look into this. I'm asking this thing on Freedom Radio too, and nobody's giving me a proper answer. You understand?
Right.
The poor people have to pay our tax, have to do these things. What if the rich one up there?
That's another issue. That's another issue. According to the laws, you're supposed to make a declaration before you enter office. I'm going to address it. Thank you for raising that.
I got one more. The people in the NDC, in all NDC parts I'm concerned, when they're supposed to vote for the people to represent them, they come to you and they give you a name. We, the people of the area, supposed to choose that people.
Yeah.
I am against these things. You see that I think certain things happening. When you talk, some people are against when you speak up. But I don't have no time.
Well, you got the right attitude there. You got to start telling them, I'm not working for you. You're working for me.
You know, when they came the last time, they said the people are going to come to reach you. Brother, I have to go reach that woman and tell a woman, cars didn't come for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. What are you doing? You're not coming to the residents.
They're not doing it. People, you know.
What I'm saying, I watch. For instance, in my area, I clean my drain. I clean my surrounding. When I was 10 years more, I had to clean from where I live right to around the other side. Because I know what to pass through in 205. I don't want to pass through that again. So people depend on the government to do everything. We agree government got to do, but everything can be done by the government. We, the residents, have to do things.
This where the NDC. You know why I'm very pushy and very aggressive with the NDCs? Because I'm living in Grove, the Grove Diamond area there, and when you see things are not being done, it can be that the president got to come down to my area there. We got to be these idiots that come and ask me to vote them in, and we went and vote them in.
That's it.
And then they don't do the work. So we got to start putting pressure on them.
Something right now, so let me say something right now here. There have been people who's big ones in the NDC who has trawler and who doing construction work. It's not doing nothing with poor people in the area. They're doing for themselves.
Man, there's so many things you and I could talk about, and I could tell you some of the things. It sicks you to the pit of your stomach to know that they're doing everything else except the job for the people.
I love this government because if it was to them, I could have a piece of house lot. Right? So do the right thing for me, please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. So that's a caller there, and, saying, and you're right. Integrity Commission. Let's talk about that. Under the regulations, there are laws that says it was gates. It was put there so we could be able to ensure that our politicians that enter office don't acquire wealth in a very rapid manner. Because if you do that and you don't have a business and you have a small salary coming as a politician, well, it's not really small. It's big compared to what our normal man in the street work on an average. But the Integrity Commission is the body, the regulatory body, that collects declarations from, I'm putting this in layman's terms here, that collects declarations by politicians and public officials and so on. When you enter office, when you take up that position there, you have to make those declarations by law. It simply says that when I went into office, my assets are a house, a Toyota car, my bank account has so much, maybe, I think, I'm not sure what it says there, but the declaration basically says that's what I entered office. When you leave office or next year, you're in office still. This year, I own 3 houses, 5 minibus, Lexus vehicle. The questioner going to come up with, did you get them? Oh, I bought it off my salary. There are ways and means that we could do to restrict the level of political openness when it comes to collecting bribe and so on. I'm using very nice terms to describe it here today. I hope you will get in and read in between the lines. Now, when politicians fail to act by not handing over those declarations, it is a breach. And the fact is as if Integrity Commission has not been doing the job, or they need to start publishing the people. They need to say this minister, that opposition leader has not been doing what they're supposed to do. And you're right. I think a couple of months back they were publishing it, but it's time for you to go back again and let's examine that. But it should not even stop there. If you're in a position you don't hand in the declaration, you need to tell the people of Guyana. And if you can't do it, then there's a breach. Step down, move out. You can't be there anymore. So these are very, very serious issues. I think some point in time there was a couple of opposition people as well as current parliament government people that was under the previous administration that did not comply. I can't remember those names right now, but what I could tell you, it's a breach. You need to declare what assets you have, and this is being done periodically so we could be able to gauge whether you're making money on the side or not, you're receiving bribes or not. And we know there are many enterprising ways in which people could hide their assets. They put it in their cousin's name, or they put the money and they hide it. They collect cash and they hide it under the bed, or they bury it somewhere or something or the other. But at the end of the day, it is something that has been raised there by that gentleman. It is something that we have to pay attention to. Sir, look at the face. What they're doing. I don't know when they will come. Thank you very much. I'm not sure. Hi, Mr. Gildari. The 32 minibus fashion all full load. These 32 minibuses, they're all fashion full load and overloaded. I'm not sure if that's allowed. Please take pictures and send it to me. 62222. There are 32 minibuses, fashion full load, overloaded. I'm not sure if there's allowed. But it's not only 32 minibuses, it's all over the place. So you need to start acting. You need to start putting yourself in line. Mr. Gildari, good day. The lady who called us now say, how you say Bornum, luring us to plant and salt beef. What a sham. Miss my father's and Amrin. He lured us to plant and saltfish and beef. Another side to the story there. Good afternoon, sir. If you have any idea if the government giving out any assistance to rice farmers, yes, I believe so. I think there are a number of things that they have announced via the budget, and I think the Ministry of Agriculture also. 227-5049, 227-5049, make a call to them. Hi, sir. Good day to you, your boss, and your listeners. At GWI metered pension paid a bill at Peter's All Outlet. They were told that the first 10 cubic meters is billed at $74. After that is billed at $112. Now, sorry, I believe I read in Kaieteur News that the Honorable Sheikh Bar said it's starting from November the 1st. All pensioners will receive free water up to 2,000 gallons. After that, there's a cost. Sorry, if you could say something, anything. Thank you very much. I'm going to look into this matter here and try to raise it, because I do happen to have GWI people coming to us here on the radio show. I'm making arrangements for that. Leonard, since you've started the Wake Up Guyana program, what are the 3 top concerns of our Guyanese people? Very good question. $25,000 NIS, GPL. I think those are the 3 top things. Strange enough, nobody's really quarreling about the oil. They have 1-2 people quarreling about the oil and gas. Nobody's quarreling too much about the performance of the government. Nobody's really talking about the performance of the opposition too. You have 1, 2 cases coming out there, but the top three I would say is the NIS, which is somewhat in the background right now. I think coming along with that would also be the level of health care. Crime is somewhere in the top 10 as well. But definitely NIS is one of them. That $25,000 would have been another one. Very good question there that would have been asked by that person. Let me see. Do we have another caller in the air? Good afternoon, caller on the air. Go right ahead. Hello.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Gilari?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
I enjoying your show today, man. Today's
Yeah,
show
man.
is hot.
Oh, it is hot. All right, sir.
I think that what we need is to make laws that, is simple. If we find you with certain things, you can't be working for $1 million a month and you're spending $3 million a month. So, and even if you give it to your family, we should investigate them, see where they're working and how they acquire these things. So when they steal from us, they can't spend.
There are other ways, There are other ways how you steal too. What you could do is open a company. You put a front man to run it, and you get some security contracts to provide. Hello. So to provide.
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Yeah. So you provide some contracts. So the company is run there. So the money remains there, and there's another way of hiding it. Many people, many politicians used to be doing that. I'm not sure if they're doing it under this government. I think not Robert. I think it's Irfan Ali and Barjak, they are very strict about those things. Let's hope that they're paying attention. You don't want the same old thing to be happening. We know. You see, the funny thing is, Chief, is that everybody knows in Guyana who doing what. Huh? Mm-hmm. Everybody knows who doing it, who making a little raise here, who hanging out and drinking the Johnny Walkers and so out there.
Mm-hmm.
So go.
Let me just,
So go right ahead.
Yeah, let me just say this here. I feel like I'm insane. I feel like a mad person. You could tell me after I finish. And let me suggest you as the government, and I'm the police. Every day we keep complaining about the police and the police and the police. I don't like the police behavior, but sometimes I feel sorry for the police, because the money that the police is working for. So when the government is thieving, they're not basically thieving from me and Mr. Gilari and the ordinary citizens. They're basically thieving from the police. So the police got to protect the government for thief for them and their children.
It is, and there's a point there too. I mean, we all look at the bad sides of what is happening for the corruption side and the police side, but we're not looking at what they're going through. But I always say something to people who raise that issue with me, and it's very, very simple. I said, if you come in this job and you know what the deal is with this job, I come into this reporter job and I know that I'd have to work. I know that I'd have to push in some hours is unbelievable. And I know I'm never going to get the pay that I really deserve for this kind of job. But do I leave? I do it because I love it. So you're in it because you love it. But I understand what you're saying. It should be reasonable.
Yes. They work under, like, little or not. But they know when they go and take the job, they're going to work for 60,000 or 80,000 or 100 or 200, but they want to live a 300,000 lifestyle.
And you want me to tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you that they could afford it.
Yes.
You know they afford it. You know how much minibus the policemen own?
Yeah.
You know how much of them throwing box sand? Where you getting the box sand from?
And that's what basically the giant. I could remember during their campaign, Lall would have said that the police, the traffic department was overcrowded, and now they does nothing about it. Actually, the traffic department, the amount of police is double, because what used to happen some time ago. They used to get one policeman used to come out on the road with a speed gun, and they would stop you and they would give them probably 1,000 or 2,000. Now because they know the fine is 7.5, they send 3 policemen to stand up there. So you got to come with either 5,000 or,
Oh, them boys, it's unbelievable. What we got to do, I think, bottom line out of all of this, we got to start putting it's not discipline only. We got to start putting some pride into what we do. We got to start, this country here, unless we start looking out for this country, nobody's going to look out for it. When we go out and we do our job, How about you turning up to your job and give it your best shot instead of, you're working at the government place? Why should your face be sour? Why should you be going to work as if, today's a very bad day, let me take it out on somebody? Because when you go there and nobody's watching and the kind of service that you offer, how about us, you going in there and you have to offer service? Let's do it to the best of the ability. Yes, things are not good home. Yes, I have money issues. Yes, so many things are going wrong. But how about that? So I think we got to start changing our attitudes in a very rapid manner because the train has picked up, the train is happening, the train is running, and guess what? Everybody coming in again and benefiting except guess who? Me and you and the rest of the world. The rest of the world again.
Yeah, I just want to raise one more quick point. Sometimes I think to myself that we should try to abide by the law and stay within the law, but when you wake up and see the police, I think like they govern by their own self and they do whatever they want. Because they used to have signs from a speed limit from Georgetown to Rosenthal.
I think there still is. There still is.
No. I don't know if you could get journalists to check the road. They get all kind of different signs.
Some areas have different speed limits.
Right. Well, now I see they put some new one the other day. I went passing along there and I see they put some new one from 8 in the morning or 8:30 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. Certain area is 50 kilometers. Now you just wake up just like that and you put up sign. You doesn't inform the people in a 3 months period that look, from this area to this area now you got to be driving at 50. Now people who don't know and know that the speed is normally 80 kilometers would drive and then the police would be out there and then they got a sign to show you. Look, there is a sign said this. No, you is not aware of that. They didn't give you no time to say, well, look, inform the people within a 2-month period so that everybody would get one understanding that the speed limit change within this area. They just wake up and they're doing whatever they want. And now when you start, if you would surprise to see you going along the road by Golden Grove area, you will see speed sign change.
Thank you very much for that, sir. We will pay attention to that.
Thank you, Mr. Gilari.
Yes. And, it is always such a pleasure as we come down to wrap up time. And I think the time has run out so very quickly here today. On the Wake Up Guyana show, I'm your host, Leonard Gildari. If you've missed us over the last 2 hours or so, you could get us back on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. We would have been coming to you live from our studio here in Charleston on the 99.1 on in the Esquimalt and Demerara area, or 99.5 in Berbice. So wherever you are, whatever it is that you are doing, I hope that we've uplifted you, we've educated you, we've made you aware of some of the things that you should know. And if you don't know it, because it is going to help you in lifting our standards, raising the bar for you to wake up and smell the coffee, wake up Guyana. Have a pleasant rest of the day. We are going to be back with you tomorrow, same place, same time. I think Dr. Yog Mahadi is going to be in the house tomorrow again. We'll have to talk to him again. Thank you very much.